When you look at the collections that are here, you're really not looking at boxes, and you're really not looking at books. Those are just medium in which information is stored. What you're looking at is more than 300 years of human story. The information that's contained in a diary or the information that's contained in records is really the story of a particular group of individuals called Presbyterians who were interacting with the broader culture, the global community.
Presbyterians like William Shepherd, for example, who was a Presbyterian missionary to the Congo in the 1890s. As the first African American to head a foreign mission, he proved to be an eloquent writer, a talented linguist, an ethnographer, and a daring and successful big game hunter. And that's just one of many stories you'll find on the shelves of the Presbyterian Historical Society. The Presbyterian Historical Society is the national archives of the Presbyterian Church, U.S.A., and its primary historical research center. Its mission is to collect, preserve, and share the story of the American Presbyterian experience with Presbyterians, the scholarly community, and the general public. In all, there are over 30,000 cubic feet of records and more than 250,000 volumes in the facility. You'll find church polity decisions, baptismal records, Choctaw hymn books, minister biographies, and a huge collection of missionary documents. Primarily, these are the records of the Presbyterian Church, its local congregations, its national offices, and its middle governing bodies, but the Society houses other material as well, such as collections from the National Council of Churches and the American Sunday School Union.
It is the preeminent collection of its kind anywhere in the country. It does supply information to all types of users, and it is a very exciting place when you dig into it and find the stories that exist there.
This is a wonderful collection of all kinds of things.
You could go into the collection and stick in your thumb and pull out a plum anywhere. There's a story in every box and every volume.
I remember coming across a letter from George Washington.
They even have a set of dueling pistols.
It is well organized and things are well preserved. It's a great place to be able to find the information you need. You don't even need to come here sometimes. You can drop an email, make a phone call, and people are here to help.
We get a lot of questions about, people doing genealogy. We get a lot of questions about folks wanting to know about their congregation's history or about some minister that was a part of their congregation. We can help them find that information. We can lead them to the resources to make that research possible.
A couple years ago, we mounted the online catalog, so anyone from anywhere in the world can check a portion of our holdings by using that. We have online exhibits. We have resources for worship. We're adding things all the time.
First and foremost, the Presbyterian Historical Society is a resource for congregations, for church historians, and frequently for authors, like Jonathan Zimmerman.
My most recent project, which was called Innocents Abroad, is a history of Americans who taught in other countries. The largest number of Americans who taught in other countries were missionaries, and the denomination that sent the most missionaries overseas were the Presbyterian. If there's another place in the United States that has an equivalent breadth and volume of missionary records, I'm not aware of it.
The Historical Society's large holding of local church records is also an important resource for the local churches themselves, for their members, and for historians.
The last history of this church, which was founded in 1768, was published in 1909. And so I am in the process of researching the history of the last 100 years, and I can't say enough about the Historical Society and the help they've given me. I'm an amateur, and they have been wonderfully supportive.
What makes the PHS unique is not just the collections themselves, but the fact that they've managed to assemble a tremendous staff of people that know the collections intricately, know what's in them and the way that they've been used, people who keep up with the literature about the collections, and also, I think, people who are eager to share them. And I think it's the best place to do research that I know of.
While providing access is key to their mission, much of the Society's work involves the cataloging and proper storage of the material they receive. The collection is maintained in secure, environmentally controlled archives, staffed by professionals in archival and records management and library science. When material arrives for storage, first they determine what type of records they have and the dates they cover. If requested, the records are microfilmed. Then information about the material is entered into the database and the records are placed in archival quality boxes for storage. With material arriving daily, volunteers like David Gelser often help with the process of accessioning.
We have a wonderful volunteer corps, many of whom are retired missionaries who bring language skills and other knowledge of the collections. And we also have development volunteers who help us raise the money we need to do our work.
We've got a huge need per capita, which has typically funded the Historical Society, is holding steady or even being reduced. So if this society is to continue to provide the service it's providing, it's going to take contributions from individual Presbyterians to do that.
People think that, well, we get per capita, therefore we don't need to raise additional funds. And the error within that thinking is that per capita only covers a portion of our expenses. That the major expenses that we have in terms of programs, the journal that we do, the newsletter, the outreach seminars, we have to raise money in order to provide those services. And that's about 20 to 25% of our budget.
I know that times are tight for institutions like this one, but I think it's absolutely critical for the understanding of American religious history and American history writ large.
James Baldwin, the great American writer, once said that history is not about the past. The great force of history is the fact that we carry it with us in the present, and it literally influences and shapes everything we do. And too frequently in this world, we think of history as the dead, the past, the finished, another time. But history is really the foundation. It's the legacy that communion of saints has given to us to build upon.